Hello everyone, welcome to the third lesson. So today we are going to talk about past simple and past continuous. I always like showing it like this because it's some kind of long action. So before we start, I'd like to show you a video. One second, yeah, it'll take me some time.
Girl and that butcher's boy attacked my son.
So some examples we can see here. The first one, your girl and that butcher's boy attacked my son. So she's talking about some situation that happened in the past. Next one.
That animal of hers nearly tore his arm off.
That's not true.
Here we can see that animal of hers nearly tore his arm off. Tore, it's the second form of the verb tear. Tear, tore, torn. Yeah, like right. Next one.
That's not true. She just.
She just bit him a little. Here we can see the second form of the verb bite. So she just bit him a little, the second form.
Bit him a little. He was hurting Micah.
And here we can see an example of past continuous. He was hurting Micah. So we can see that the situation was happening. He was hurting Micah, and then they tried to stop him. They tried to defend him.
Told us what happened. You and that boy beat him with clubs
Beat him.
while you set your wolf on him.
That's not what happened.
Set your wolf, so the second form.
Yes, it is.
They all attacked me. Again, we see past simple, but here attacked me. It's a regular verb. That's why it has ed ending. So this was an example. And then let's talk about the form. I am sure you remember the form of past simple, but just in case, so when we use past simple, we just add ed ending to the regular verbs. Here we can see an example of regular verb, and this is turned. Turned. It's a regular verb, that's why it has ed ending. Also, we can see the second example, left. This is the second form. We see that this verb is an irregular one. So we need to remember the list of irregular verbs to use past simple correctly. When we ask questions, we use our auxiliary verb did. And when we ask questions, our verbs return to the first form. Not did he returned, but did he return? Did he leave? Also, this tense is really easy because you use these verb forms for all the pronouns. It doesn't matter if you say I watched, you watched, he watched, she watched, it watched, they watched, we watched, and like all of the pronouns will use the second form of the verb with ed ending or in the second, like from the second column. When it comes to negations, when it comes to negative sentences, we use did not and the first form of the verb. So let's take some examples. I think we will write our own. So I will try to use this font, and yeah, let it be something easy with a regular verb. Okay, she cooked. She cooked at the weekend. Or she cooked yesterday. Let it be yesterday. She cooked yesterday. So I will write yesterday in full here, but in further examples, I will just shorten it with E or Y, okay? So she cooked yesterday. If we want to ask, we use did, and it'll be, did she cook yesterday? If we are making a negative sentence, she did not or she didn't, we can even make it shorter, didn't cook yesterday. If you're asking somebody like, did she cook yesterday? You can also use a short question answer. It'll be yes, she did, if she really cooked, or no, she didn't. And as you remember, we always change the pronouns according to the subject we are answering about. For example, if I'm asking you about your friend who's a male, you can answer yes, he did, or no, he didn't. If I'm asking about your children, you can say yes, they did, no, they didn't. So then let's talk about the use, when we use past simple and for what actions. I see the text is kind of blurry, but I will read everything for you. So here we have the first example. They spent their holidays in Switzerland last winter. So we see the verb spend is used in the second form, and we see a signal word which is last winter. And we can ask questions like, when did they go to Switzerland? Last winter. The time is stated. So past simple can be used for actions which happened at a definite time in the past, and the time is stated, already known, or implied. Implied means that you understand it. It's like, for example, I can say that yesterday I did this, I did that, and I also add some facts, and you see that, it's already implied, it's about yesterday. So also some other examples we can use. We can talk about your last summer. For example, last summer I went to Boravoye, or I went to Shymkent, or some other things. When I at my 16th birthday, I did this, that, so on and so forth. So the time is stated. We know when it happened. And yeah, it's a past time. Next one, for actions which happened immediately one after the other in the past. So it's pretty obvious because yeah, here we have an example. First, he read the message, then he called his boss. I can make one more example as yesterday. After going to shop, I came home, washed my hands, went into the kitchen, started cooking some food, drank tea with my daughter, we read a book, she played a little, I worked a little, and then we went to sleep. So everything is happening one after another. So these actions are happening in kind of a sequence. It's also called sequence of actions. So the things go one after another. Sorry for my voice. I hope it's okay. So next one, for past habits or states which are now finished. In such cases, we can also use expression used to. So these things are about some things that happened long ago, and yeah, they are finished. Here we have an example of people traveled or used to travel by carriage in those days. So we can see some kind of a picture from the past, and people are really sitting in the carriage and they are going somewhere. I can also say that in the past we didn't have computers, or people were healthier in the past, or I can say people used to be healthier in the past, healthier because they didn't have gene modified products. Yeah, and the last one, to talk about the lives of people who are no longer alive. We can see a picture of Marilyn Monroe, and we already know that she's not alive now. And there is a sentence, Marilyn Monroe starred in a number of successful films. I can also use this example for Michael Jackson, but due to the last events with P. Diddy, I don't know if you know, I'm not sure. So, yeah, I can say that Michael Jackson was a talented singer. He was a talented performer as he danced. He usually tried to do his best on the stage, or he performed really well. And his performances were really captivating. So everything about him is in the past because he is no longer alive. So the time, the expressions that I used with past simple are following examples. So we see yesterday, last, it can be night, week, month, year, Monday, etc. 2 days, weeks, months ago, or some other period ago. Then, it's like in the past, yeah. Oh, I was happier then. I was younger then. When, how long ago, and with some years, like in 1991, in 1992, and so on. So this is past simple. Next, let's move to past continuous. Here we see the form, and the form is pretty easy if we remember present continuous. Yeah, it's M is R plus ing. So in the past, we just use the past form of M is R. It's was were plus ing to the verb, to the main verb. Here we can see some examples, and we need to remember that was is used with singular pronouns, words, subjects, and were is used with plural subjects. Okay, 1 second here. For example, I can say, we were really tired yesterday. They were happy to see us, or they were dancing all night. With was, it's I, he, she, it. So here we can see some examples. The first one, they were watching something. And yeah, she was watching. It can be about one person. Next, if we ask questions, we know that our auxiliary verbs was, were, will stand before the subject. Was he watching the film? Yes, he was, or no, he wasn't. Were they watching the film? Yes, they were, or no, they weren't, when it comes to short answers. When it comes to negations, to negative sentences, we use not after our auxiliary verb, and there are some examples like he wasn't watching, or he was not watching, they were not watching, or contracted form, they weren't watching. So then let's talk about the usage, and then we will make some more examples. It's blurry again. So an example, at 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon, they were sitting at an outdoor cafe. Yeah, that's all. They were sitting at an outdoor cafe. The most important thing about the sentence is that the time is given. I know that we like using past continuous for some things that happened in the past, but usually we need to give some time. Especially, for example, yesterday at 5 o'clock, I was watching a TV series in English. So I give the specific time, what I was doing at that period of time. So we can use past continuous for an action which was in progress at a stated time in the past. We don't mention when the action started or finished. We just need this like period, and we show that it was happening. Something was happening. And about these people, we don't know when they got to this cafe or when they left. We just know that at 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon, they were sitting in this cafe. Next one. Here we have two examples. He was walking when he slipped on a banana skin. And like we know the situations, yeah? When there are two actions and one action is interrupted by another action. So yeah, we can use past continuous for action which was in progress when another action interrupted it. So for the fast action, we use past continuous, past simple, and for longer action, we use past continuous. For example, I can say, yesterday when I came home, my mom was cooking dinner. So when I came home, this is fast action, my mom was cooking dinner. This is a longer action, and this action, she was cooking, was interrupted by me, who came home. Or we can say, when I entered the classroom, the students were talking loudly, let's say. So again, here I came in and the students were talking. So longer action, they were talking. I came in, it's some kind of fast action. Next one. She was steering the boat while he was playing the guitar. I'd like to point your attention to while. And in this situation, we use past continuous for two or more simultaneous past actions. It means that these actions are happening at one time. He was cooking dinner while I was laying the table. So like it's about a couple and they are working in a team. So she's laying the table and at that time her husband is cooking dinner. Yeah, so in past simple, I was laying the table while my husband was cooking. Or some other one, while I was taking shower my children were doing homework. So the same thing, two actions are happening at one time and they are both long. Next one. I like this one. Yeah. Todd and Emily were riding through the forest. The sun was shining and the birds were singing. So here, past continuous helps us to set the scene. We start imagining these birds who were singing, the sun that was shining, and yeah, the past continuous is used to describe the atmosphere, the setting in the introduction to a story before we describe the main event. For example, I can say that yesterday I went shopping and the weather was nice. Yeah, the sun was shining, the birds were singing, the wind was blowing softly, and some other things. So I'm giving this kind of background scene to you. Next one, past continuous is used with the following time expressions with when, while, as, all, all day, night, morning, and etc. And yeah, all day, all night, all morning. This is very important because it's talking about time. So it's giving us time, specific time. Yeah, I can say that I was cooking all night long to get ready to meet my guests today, for example. Okay, so then let's talk about endings. So we have ed ending and it's in past simple. When we add it to verbs, we usually have some changes. The first one, double consonant. I think we've talked about it when we talked about present simple and present continuous. So if we have a verb that is finished with the consonant, but we have a stressed vowel before that consonant, we get double consonant. I hope it's clear. So I will add one more example. Like we have a verb stop. So it ends with P, which is consonant. And before P, we have a stressed vowel, stop. So when we add ed ending, it will be stopped with double P. Okay. Next one. When our verb finishes with consonant plus Y, it is the same as we did before. For example, we have the verb cry. It finishes with Y, but before this Y, we have consonant R. That's why we need to change it into I, E, D. So our Y changes into I and we add ED. Why it happens? Because if we just add like ED or yeah, D, it'll be not cried, but it'll be creed or something else. So it's kind of wrong. Next one, if we have a vowel plus Y, we just add ED. We also can have an example as play, played. In other cases, we just add ed. And if our verbs finish with e, we just add d. For example, dance. We don't need to add one more e, we just add D, and that's all. Danced. So also I'd like to talk to you about the pronunciation of these ed endings. When you add ed after such sounds as t and d, we pronounce it as id. Landed, started. Sometimes when it's fast, you can hear landed, started, not id, but id. When it comes to t, like when it comes to such sound as k, s, ch, sh, f, p, like kind of silent letters, we pronounce ed ending as t. Booked, stopped, helped. It won't be stopped, helped. It will be stopped, helped. And when it comes to other sounds, we usually pronounce ed ending as d. Dived, danced, and some other ones. So I hope it was helpful. You have many tasks ahead. I've prepared some more exercises, text, and the work with words. So I hope that you will enjoy it. And if you have any questions, please text me. And good luck with the exercises. So bye bye. See you next.